haven't painted a portrait in over 10 years. Don't judge me too hard, okay? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I thought today I would set myself a challenge and create a self-portrait. And you might think it's not much of a challenge because I have an art background, but if you know what I'm like when it comes to portraiture and realism and whatnot, you'll know fine well that this is definitely a challenge for us. And I know other YouTubers have kind of done the following a Bob Ross tutorial and whatnot, and I was contemplating doing one of them, but A, it's been done to death, and B, I don't think it would be as much of a challenge. It's probably a lie. I think it's probably equally as hard. But hopefully I can do a decent job. It has been a long time since I've done any kind of figurative painting. I took this selfie this morning for reference, which is up here. And I know, I'm a model. I look like Linda Evangelista. Did I stone these tights? My smile is incredible. The judges just eat me up. That's so stupid. I just need to grab my paints, mix it all up. I'm going to challenge myself to create a hyper-realism self-portrait. But before we get into that, make sure to click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Right, so I think my plan of action is to colour block everything and then to add the detail as I go along. And hopefully the outcome will be fantastic. Do I have high hopes that it's going to be fantastic? No. And for some reason I wore a blue shirt and I've got blue hair, so there's going to be a lot of blue going on in this portrait. First line down, there's no going back. I think we're off to a good start already, I really do. And by the way, it is quite difficult to film this. I don't have a cameraman or anything like that, so I'm relying on my two cameras. So I apologise if I'm stood in the way of me painting all the time. Right, I think scale-wise, it's no, it's not there. It's not there at all. The blue this should have come down way further. Oh, bollocks. Right, you know when I said I was going to go for hyper-realism? I'm going to challenge myself to create a hyper-realism self-portrait. I think I'm going to go for abstract. I think that's the best bet. Right, I think my next bet is to go for the hair and to block out that, and I've basically just used the same blue as I was using before, but added a bit of white to it, just to lighten it up a bit. This is where it goes really bad, I can already foresee it. Oh, I put too much on. Oh, what am I doing? Oh no. Oh, I let the brush get away from us. I forgot what I was painting. It's okay, we can salvage it, it's fine. It actually doesn't look too bad. It looks a bit afro-like, but it doesn't look that bad. Maybe there's a bit more volume on this side. I don't think that looks too bad, actually. I think the shock of it at first scared us, but... Right, now I need to whip up a skin colour. This is where it really goes wrong, because I am awful at getting anyone's skin colour right, let alone my own. Do you think that's a bit too pink? I think I need a little bit of yellow in it. Actually, you know what? That's not too bad. I just added some pink, some white, and a little bit of yellow, and I think that's there enough about my kind of skin colour. A little bit pinky, but that's okay. Right, so I think we'll block in my neck and my face. Actually, I'll block in my face, and then I'll add a bit of white to this, because my neck's a little bit paler. It's also quite challenging, because I'm not used to painting standing up. It's been a long time since I've painted kind of on an easel. I much prefer painting kind of spread out on the ground, but if I was to paint on the ground it's just difficult with camera angles and stuff, so I thought I'd invest in an easel. Right, okay. I don't think that's looking too bad, to be fair. Right, so I'm going to mix a little bit of white with this skin colour, just so I can paint my neck, because my neck's a different colour than my face for some reason. I don't know whether it's to do with the lighting or whether that's just my skin tone. And this is actually a proper technique of painting, to colour block everything first and then to add the details on top. You can also do underpainting, which is it's mainly when you do it with oil painting, and I got taught this in kind of college, but I haven't done underpainting in a long time. And it's basically where you paint all the shadows, so all the darker parts, onto your canvas first, and then you start to paint the lighter and lighter parts over the top to create kind of the shadows and the depth. And that's how traditional kind of oil painting is done. through underpainting, and I remember it was so difficult to get my head around it, but it's essentially just, it's almost like Photoshop. It's just creating lots and lots of layers of paint to kind of create the full image that you're trying to make. So yeah, I do know some stuff. College and uni and my degrees and stuff, they did teach me things. That's about right. What I might do is my chin goes a bit further down, so I might add a bit more black when it comes to the beard. Kind of cut into this pink part because it looks a bit silly. Right, I'm just going to add some white for my pearly white teeth. Just so I can try and get the proportions of my face right. Yeah, I'm 100% going for abstract now. Okay, I've changed the course of direction. Thing is, I've got a crooked smile as well, so it's very difficult to paint. Okay, I'm stopping. I'm not doing that anymore. Right, now I'm just going to try and get a lip colour, and I'm just going to darken this skin colour up that I was using. But I guarantee it's going to look like I'm wearing lipstick. I could definitely overpaint my lips and just make them ginormous. I will say, mind, I don't think it's going particularly great, but I'm actually having quite a lot of fun. I think it's quite an enjoyable thing to do. I haven't done any like proper painting in such a long time. Oh dear. Oh, that's terrible. That's so bad. My art tutor is turning in a grave. She's not actually dead, by the way, but she's turning in a grave if she was in one. I'll add some outlines. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Right, I think I might do the eyes. I might try the eyes. The thing is, it brings back memories of kind of college days and stuff like that. And we used to have life drawing. I think it was like every Friday. If you don't know what life drawing is, it's basically where you get a life model who is a person who comes in naked and sits in the room, and then you draw her or him or paint her or him and try and do as good of a job as you can. And obviously at the time, I think I was about, how old was I? I was probably about 17, 18-ish, and we had a life drawing class, and we'd been painting like women for ages, and we finally got a guy model, and I was stood here and my two mates were kind of stood there at either side. The tutor got the model to get into a pose, and I got a perfect shot of a hairy arsehole. That's what I had to paint, a hairy arsehole. And even worse, one of my mates, who had to paint him as well, it was actually her bus driver, so she had to see him on a daily basis, knowing that she'd been staring at his hairy arse. Just one of the things art students go through. Traumatised. Well, that doesn't look good, does it? I made my eyes look really big. I kind of look like an alien. Because I have quite squinty eyes. My eyes naturally just kind of like squint up. I don't know why. And I've always wanted bigger, fuller eyes. So I'm going to give myself bigger, fuller eyes. I'm in control. I'm going to add black. I'm going to go for the eyebrows. And another thing I was taught in college was to never ever use pure black out of a tube, because pure black on kind of anyone's face or anything like that doesn't actually exist. And you're supposed to mix your black by mixing all the colours, and you get kind of a dark brown. But I'm using black out of a tube, okay? I never understood why I had to mix my own black. Like, when it was just accessible to us, it's so much easier just to get out the tube. And black does exist, it does. I'm sure I was lied to. They don't look like kind of eyebrows or hairs, they look kind of like slugs, but they're kind of the right shape. My eyebrows are quite patchy anyway. I have a lot of bald spots, because a fun fact about me, I actually pull a lot of my kind of eyebrow hairs, my eyelashes and my hair out. Yeah. I don't know why I do it. I do it with my beard as well, so that's why I kind of have little bald patches everywhere. And I remember one time when I was sat in a lecture at uni, I was bored shitless. Well, actually, I don't think I was that bored. I was just kind of restless and irritated because the lecture was going on and on. And anyway, I was just sat there, paying attention, blah, blah, blah. And I looked down at my hand and there was blood all over my hand, like everywhere. I was like, eee, what's happened? Turns out I'd been pulling all my beard hair out to the point where all my, like, chin was bleeding. I don't think I do it kind of a stress thing. I just do it, like, unconsciously. I don't realise that I'm doing it when I'm doing it, so I have to really pay attention not to pull all my hair out, all my eyebrows out, and all my eyelashes out. There's been times where I've had some serious bald patches going on. But yeah, if you ever see my face and there's some like little bald patches going on. It's just because I've been having a good pull. Right, I'm going to try and add my beard and my tash. Definitely think I got carried away with my beard. It is not that full. I'm absolutely awful at noses. I never understand how anyone paints them. So I'm really going to try hard and do some sort of nose. Yeah, that didn't go well at all. I don't understand how people do it. It's all about kind of shading, but I just can't figure it out. Right, I'm going to leave that nose alone because it's not happening. I know my nose is big, but it's not that big. Right, I'll try my eyes. You know what? I think I started off really, really good, and then I've just kind of started to lose my way a bit. Never mind, the neck is awful as well, I've just realised. The neck looks terrible. Oh dear. Oh, it's not looking good. It's completely out of proportion as well, I've just realised. What to do, what to do, what to do? How do I say this? You know what I'm going to do, which you should never ever do, is I'm just going to outline a lot of the things in black, and usually that makes it feel more kind of intentional. It doesn't look very good, does it? Yeah, I think for the background I'll go for a nice orange acrylic wash, just to complement a lot of the blue that's in the painting. I think it'll look quite nice, I really do. Oh, no. No, I didn't want to do that. I'm acting as if it's ruined. And another trick, if your painting looks very flat, is to add a 3D kind of layer behind it and just add a black line. Seriously, it works wonders. Perfect. And we obviously need to sign it. And you know what? I quite like it. Okay, so we have our finished painting here, my self-portrait, and yes, I kind of set out my goal to be a hyper-realistic portrait, and unfortunately along the way things kind of happened, portions got away from us, so we end up with a very abstract self-portrait, and I think it looks really, really good. And one tip, if you kind of ever wanting to do portraiture, or you want to ever do kind of any kind of painting or anything like that, there are no rules, you can do whatever you want, but considering I hadn't done any kind of painting or portraiture or any figurative painting for a long, long time, I think it's turned out okay. It's definitely a suggestion that it is me, and although it is an abstract nature and quite kind of expressive, I'm not mad at it. It wasn't my end goal, but I'm not mad at it. And I definitely will find a place on the studio wall to hang it once it's dry. Hi, is this my university? Hello, it's just Anthony, I'm just getting in touch. I've just created a painting. You saw it, did you? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You're gonna give us a full refund. Oh, thank you so much, yeah. Yeah, I know. Okay, alright, thank you, bye. But hopefully you enjoyed watching me create my self-portrait. Twinning. If you did, make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But if you ever do kind of a portrait or any kind of artwork, make sure to kind of tag me on socials. I would love to enjoy some real talent. But yes, I'll see you next week for a brand new video. I will not be painting another portrait or landscape or anything like that, don't worry. But I'll see you then. Bye!